What's up guys, today we're sewing a pair of baggy jeans and we're also going to stonewash them. You can find the link to the pattern for the pants in the video description down below. If you like the video, I'm very happy about every thumbs up, and if you don't want to miss any more tutorials, feel free to subscribe to this channel. And without further ado, let's jump right into the project. To sew today's baggy jeans we need approximately 3 to 3.5 meters of denim fabric, a pattern for one pair of trousers, a 14 centimeter long zipper, ideally sewing needles that are suitable for jeans, i.e. universal or jeans needles, black and beige thread, or any other colors you can choose of course, a button, one to hammer onto a metal pin or one to sew on, 4 different presser feet, normal, edge presser foot, a zipper presser foot and a buttonhole presser foot, a pair of scissors, a seam ripper, a tape measure, tailor's chalk or a colored pencil. If we start from scratch, the pattern has to be shaped first because the pattern is printed out in A4 format so that everyone can make the trousers from home. The silhouette of the trousers is my favorite silhouette because it is curved on the outside and therefore has a very cool fit. All the pages are neatly arranged and then we can start cutting out and gluing everything together. Now we turn our attention to the cutting. To do this, the fabric is folded in the middle and spread out so that the weave is vertical. You can check this for fabric with elastane by stretching it horizontally once, which should be quite easy. And vertically, the whole thing should look much less elastic. The weave direction is very important for how the trousers will fall at the end. The weaving direction is vertical for all our trouser parts. We now lay the pattern pieces for the back trouser leg, the back trouser pockets, and the 2 pieces for the front pockets on the fabric and trace the outline. To be on the safe side, you can weigh everything down with some objects so that nothing slips. The next step is to cut everything out neatly. As there is a piece of fabric left over from the cutting, we will draw the 2 bridge pieces for the back of the trousers on it, as well as the fly shield. The small coin pocket is also cut in the same way. Now cut out the 2 front trouser legs. To do this, unfold a new piece of fabric. It is important to make sure that you lay both pieces exactly as they are, as one pattern piece has a subtle fabric overhang at the crotch passage. As we are making a zipper for men's trousers, both parts must be arranged in this way. For women's trousers it would be the other way around. The zipper cover is cut out like this for our trouser version. Finally, we need to cut out the waistband. As we need 2 identical pieces, you can fold the fabric over again and then cut everything out. And now let's get our iron ready, because to make sure the pants are a complete success, we will iron each piece once. You could also wash the fabric beforehand and then iron it, but that takes too long for me. The factor by which the fabric shrinks also comes into play when the trousers are washed for the first time. As soon as we have finished ironing everything, we can switch on the sewing machine, and we start with the hardest part of the trousers first. That is the front. First we lay both trouser legs in front of us and place the pocket bags with the curved cutout right sides together, i.e. nice blue denim side on nice blue denim side, and fix everything with clips or pins. You can now attach the normal presser foot to your sewing machine, set the needle position to the middle and set the stitch length to 2.5. The stitch type, i.e. a normal straight stitch, will almost never change in this tutorial. Now sew the curve once. Of course we do this for both trouser legs. Next, the trouser pocket piece is folded inwards, as we now want to press the edge. I always use clips to secure these edges so that they are neat. As soon as the edge has been ironed, we grab an edge sewing foot, set the stitch length to 4 and sew double decorative seams. We first use the edge sewing foot to guide us along the edge of the fabric and then slide this dark metal part over the first seam as a guide for the second seam. By the way, you're welcome to write in the comments how I should handle the sewing sequences in future tutorials. My favorite thing about sewing tutorial videos is when you don't hear the sound and you don't always need to watch every sequence in full length if you're just sewing a long edge. This way everyone can simply turn on their own music in the background and sew along in a relaxed manner, as it's easier to jump back to the right place for shorter sequences. In any case, we now place the other 2 back parts in front of us. The small coin pocket is to be placed on one of them. To do this, we use the pattern to mark the 2 upper corners so that we can align the pocket with them. The top edge of the coin pocket is now folded in twice to create a strip approximately 1.5 centimeters wide. Fold the edge over once all the way around by approximately 1 centimeter. This is now ironed once, and the top edge is top stitched twice in the same way as the curves of the front pockets. Now we can place the coin pocket, pin it in place, and also sew it on with double top stitching. stitching. To complete the front pocket bags, the pieces are placed right sides together on both sides and secured. In the next step, this upper part is sewn to the very edge. The same is done briefly on the side edge. The bag can now be closed all the way around. And now it's time to get down to business. We will do the zipper on the trousers. To do this, we take the fly shield, fold it right sides together and sew the bottom slanted edge. Then turn the whole thing right side out, and I finished the open side with my overlock sewing machine. If you have a normal sewing machine, you can simply use a zigzag stitch. Now we take the zipper cover and place the zipper in exactly the same position. The zipper lies with the carriage upside down, so to speak, on the right, beautiful denim side. The whole thing is then pinned in place, and we sew the whole thing directly to the edge using the normal presser foot. In the next step, we grab a zipper presser foot and sew the same section close to the zipper teeth. The zipper cover can then be attached to the trouser leg without any excess fabric, using clips and then sewn in place. The whole thing is then folded over once, and the edge is top stitched as long as the zipper cover is. To create the typical look of a trouser fastener, we draw the curve of the zipper cover on the top of the trouser leg. You can actually feel the piece of fabric of the zipper cover quite well and trace it with a pen. This line is then top stitched twice. Once the drawn line and then another one on the inside. The excess fabric on the other front trouser leg is now pressed over. This part is placed on the side of the zipper that is still free, secured and top stitched in place with the zipper foot. The fly shield is now placed behind the zipper on the inside. This is a little tricky because we have to find the fabric overlap of the zipper. We sew the long side of the fly shield to this extremely narrow passage using the zipper presser foot. We make 2 top stitches at these 2 points so that the whole thing doesn't wobble back and forth on the inside. To finish the whole thing, we need to join these 2 curves on the front trouser legs together. We make sure that we only start sewing after this crease. In the next step, we turn the trousers and make a double stitch. One section from the fly lies with a folded edge on the other side of the fabric. That is correct. From the point where we started sewing the curves together normally, this arrangement dissolves and there should be a smooth transition. Now it's time for the back trouser legs. To do this, we take our pattern piece again and mark the top 2 corners of the pocket. For the back trouser pockets, the upper edge is folded in twice, just like the small coin pocket, to create a strip approximately 1.5 centimeters wide. Everything is then folded over by 1 centimeter all the way around. The lower tapered edge with the lace can be a little tricky. It may take a few attempts until both edges are about the same length and the lace is in the middle. The whole edges are ironed and the top edge is given a double top stitch. The pockets can be then placed and pinned in place. These are also sewn on all around with 2 seams. In the next step, we lay both trouser legs in front of us and place the bridge pieces. These are attached right sides together with clips. When you turn them over in this position, check that the edges look good on both sides and that one side is not too offset. Now sew the straight passage with the normal presser foot and the needle position in the middle. The excess seam allowance is then folded down and the edge is pressed from above. This is also given a double top stitch. Now place both back trouser legs right sides together. Fix the crotch seam with clips and join the whole thing together. Before this part is also top stitched twice, we take the front joint trouser legs and fold the seam allowance of the back trousers over so that when the trousers are joined later, both double top stitch seams of the crotch run perfectly into each other. The first step now is to close the inside leg seam of the trousers. To do this, place the front and back trousers right sides together and secure the inside with clips. I would first line up the crotch seams, then clip the corners at the trouser leg opening and then move a little closer from one side to the other so that the last clips on each side are fastened in the middle. This long passage is then sewn together. At the point where the center of the crotch is, I always sew a distance of approximately 5 centimeters back and forth twice to be on the safe side, because this point is predestined to rip open when you squat down. I also neaten the excess fabric of the seam allowance with my overlock. This also allows us to top stitch this part of the trousers. To do this, you always have to fold over the excess fabric on the inside in one direction. Now the outer edges of the trousers can be closed. Nothing is top stitched. You always have to make a decision with pants. Either you top stitch the inner seam or the 2 outer seams. Both are not possible. Now the trouser leg openings can be finished with it. To do this, we fold them in twice to create a strip approximately 2 to 2.5 centimeters wide. This is ironed. Top stitch the whole thing from the inside with a normal presser foot. First, sew along the edge of the fabric with the needle on the left. For the second seam, simply change the needle position to the right. The trousers can then be turned completely right side out for the first time. Now we move on to the last few meters to the waistband, the belt loops and the button fastening. We lay both waistband pieces in front of us, right sides facing, so that the two outer sides are curved upwards, and secure the top edge with clips. In the next step, fold approximately 1 centimeter of the upper piece of fabric over and iron it once completely. For the belt loops, we now need a 70 centimeter long strip that is approximately 3.5 centimeters wide. Fold in equal parts from both sides and iron the whole thing so that everything stays in position. We then top stitch the strip. We sew edge to edge with the normal presser foot and the needle position on the right. When this is finished, we can cut off our loops at 10 centimeter intervals. These are fixed in the desired places with one end right sides together and then sewn wide around the edge. Now pay close attention. We place our prepared waistband under the normal presser foot in exactly the same way. Stitch length 3. Needle position in the middle. Now sew 2 to 3 stitches forward and the same number back. This is called back tacking. This prevents the seam from coming undone. Now sew up to approximately 1.5 centimeters before the corner and now pay attention. Keep the needle in the fabric. Turn the piece of fabric so that the presser foot is at a 45-degree angle and now set the stitch length to 2. Make 2 stitches at this angle and then set the stitch length to 3 again and sew the whole long edge and do the same on the other side. These 2 small stitches make the corner look much better. At the end, cut off some fabric at an angle on both corner edges so that it doesn't collect in the corner when you turn it. But be careful not to cut too close to the seam, otherwise there is a high risk of the seam coming undone. After the waistband has been turned inside out, we iron it again all the way around. Then we take the wider part of the waistband, the right beautiful denim side, and place it on the inner left light denim side of the trousers, so the right side is facing the left. Start by attaching one end to the fly shield and finish at the corner of the zipper. This is then sewn once all the way around with a straight stitch. Needle position is in the center. And take a close look. As soon as this is done, the waistband is folded around the corner of the fly shield and the zipper corner and the pressed edge from the beginning is placed so that it lies exactly on the seam. This is then all pinned in place and we start sewing around this section with a stitch length of 4. Once around, the rest of the waistband is also top stitched around. In one of the last steps, we take each belt loop, fold it over by approximately 0.5 centimeters at the top and sew it firmly at the edge with the needle in the right position. The lower part of each loop is pressed flat and also sewn to the edge, but this time with the needle in the left hand position. Finally, take a button of your choice. I have a button that you press onto a small metal pin and mark the place where the button should go. It is very important that the button is on the left side when you look at the front of the pants. This is the part of the waistband that does not overlap. The buttonhole goes on the side where the waistband overlaps. First we attach the button. I have to do a bit of hammering here. In the next step, I used the colored pencil to mark the spot where the buttonhole is to be made using the diameter of the button. Then you have to take the buttonhole foot of your sewing machine, clamp a button with the same diameter and then sew the buttonhole. If you do not have this function or this presser foot, it is also possible to sew an identical buttonhole with a very narrow and short zigzag stitch. In the end, this only needs to be cut in and the seam around it serves to prevent the hole from tearing open completely. And that's how we finished sewing our baggy jeans. Really clean. But now we want to take it to the next level. Because the denim fabric still looks too uniform to me, we are now going to stonewash it. But not just in the washing machine, but in a different way. We need the following: a pumice stone and a container of water. Because washing machines are expensive and you should think twice about putting such porous pumice stones in your washing machine. I definitely can't do this at home, so I will show you how to get a really nice stonewashed look by hand. To do this, we fill our container with water and soak our pants in it until they have soaked up a lot of water. Then we spread out the trousers out on the floor, pick up the pumice stone and start scrubbing furiously. With the help of the pumice stone, we can sand down the color layer of the denim fabric and lighten it. The harder and longer you rub certain areas, the better the result. I always like it when these creases form and you go over them with a lot of force. In any case, there are no limits to your creativity. As soon as you're happy with the first impression, you can hang the trousers up to dry. If you notice that the stonewashed look is not yet strong enough once the trousers have dried, don't worry, just do the whole procedure again. Then everything should look nicely stonewashed. And what is generally very nice about this process is that the effect gets better and better every time you wash the trousers in the washing machine. And so here we have the finished stonewashed baggy jeans. This curved silhouette is simply my favorite and the stonewashed look is also really good. How do you like the pants? I'm definitely super happy with the result and we will see what cool outfits I can create with them. If you liked the video, then I'm definitely happy about every thumbs up. Feel free to send me your finished sewing projects. It's always really cool to see what you've been guys all cooking up. Feel free to let me know in the comments how you liked the video, and if you got any more suggestions or questions, please let me know. See you at the next video. Until then, have fun sewing.